Let's turn it on its head. What are some red flags we should be watching out for with speaking to founders?
Be honest.
Red flags. What feels not as salacious? I get worried when founders think that they know it all or can operate in an environment with no risks. If a founder doesn't have at least a small bit of paranoia, I tend to run away a little bit. Not that, I think a fair bit of paranoia is particularly healthy, because I think there are risks endemic to anything you do. And what's important is to not ignore them, but to be acutely aware of them and try to figure out to what extent you can insulate yourself from that. Founders who you ask, what's keeping you up at night? Or what do you think is foundationally risky about your business? And they say nothing, is a very, very scary prospect for me. Beyond that, and this feels a little counterintuitive, founders who don't embrace their weaknesses. I think one of the more compelling things about my job is that I have the ability to back folks who spike in a very particular area, and it's something that I celebrate. In fact, I think some of the more compelling founders are people who do spike in one thing and are absolutely atrocious at some other things. And I rather back the founder that spikes in that way than someone who's kind of average at everything. But what comes along with that is your ability to understand what that weakness might be and have the ability to hire or delegate against it in ways that are advantageous for the business. And so having that kind of self-awareness is something that feels really important. And so the lack thereof is something that feels very scary.
Scary not leveraging yourself when building a billion-dollar tech business. That does seem like a red flag. As a founder, I've gotten a lot of mixed advice around pitching to investors.